What's up? Welcome into the Footy 5. I'm Jack, by myself today, to talk through something that's keeping me up late at night. It's pretty late here in America. It's a few hours away from the provisional 30-man squad to be named by Gareth Southgate for the Euros to happen this summer. The 2020 Euros happening in 2021. 30 men are going to be selected to be narrowed down to a much smaller squad, and the biggest debate of all is who is going to be making the right back slot. There are currently 5 men generally up for selection for England, and only 2, maybe 3 of them will get picked to go to the Euros. I'm going to take a quick look at some of their stats, give my take on it ahead of the choices of Gareth Southgate, so either it will age poorly or it'll age greatly, but knowing me and the takes in this channel, it'll age poorly. If you want to subscribe for more bad takes, more lovely Excel spreadsheets, make sure to subscribe. Let's get right into it. So this right here is Excel. I'm a nerd. And I'm going to look at the cardinal sin of all data analysts. I'm going to take a look at stats for defenders and try and compare them. That's a terrible idea. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm going to look at 3 different aspects. As a creator, 1v1 defender, and as a general, just defensive fullback. As a creator, first off, this is the stat that you would expect Trent Alexander-Arnold to lead in. These stats are all per 90, and these stats are all for all competitions, and these are also in comparison to other top 5 league teams. Per 90, Trent Alexander-Arnold is expected to create a quarter of an assist. So generally, every 4 matches he'll record an assist if that keeps up on form. It's light years better than any other England right back. Double that of Trippier, almost double that of Reece James. And his key passes, better than everyone else, and shot-creating actions, better than everyone else by a significant margin, doubling Wan-Bissaka and Walker. And this is a trend we'll see throughout. We see very creative, the stereotype, poor defender, pretty good overall, great defender, overall good, but doesn't play a lot of forward passes due to the City system, and overall very good. So some sets will lean one way or another, and it all depends on how Southgate wants to use them. But then again, I'm just an American who's up late at night trying to talk about why Trent Alexander-Arnold might get robbed of a spot. This is not much of a debate right here. Trent Alexander-Arnold is an otherworldly passer, otherworldly creator at right back. And the big issue is, what are his downfalls defensively? Let's jump to that. As a 1v1 defender, so 3 stats here. Percent of dribblers tackled, percent of pressures succeeded, and ball recoveries. Trent, middle of the park in these 2 percentages, and leads in ball recoveries. The reason I chose ball recoveries alongside these 2 is that it measures his ability to take a defensive action, turn it into an offensive one. If he recovers the ball, he can then spray one of his incredible passes. Right here, we see that Kyle Walker is a really, really good individual, isolated with his man, and that's to be expected. He's a very good athlete. He's a very good defender. Wan-Bissaka, pretty good tackling the dribblers. Trippier, not terrible in comparison to other fullbacks. He's pretty good. Reece James, the biggest detractor right here, struggled a bit in the creator aspect, struggling right here in the 1v1 defender aspect. So Trent, in a Liverpool side, which isolates him a lot as a right back, he holds his own. And an England side that's going to be more potentially defensively compact, with less variables, less green grass around him, these numbers could look even better if he has more support around him. The last stat I want to look at are going to be blocks, tackles plus interceptions, and clearances. These stats heavily favor Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who is an incredible defensive fullback. He's incredible at this. Now, this is ultimately, I think, going to showcase the biggest contrast. If you look, Trippier, middle of the park, Reece James, pretty good, Wan-Bissaka, great, Walker and Trent, below average in comparison to the other options. You look at that, Trippier, pretty middle of the park. Trippier, pretty middle of the park. In my eyes, Gareth Southgate may look and see a lot of yellow boxes in this video that he's watching and say that he's the safest choice. And you know what? If I had to choose one as the safest choice, it would be Kieran Trippier, because he does not have a major flaw to his game in terms of his creative ability, in terms of his defensive ability, if he's isolated one-on-one, if he just needs to be a raw defender. And in comparison, some other players have some flaws in their game. Now, I think Trent Alexander-Arnold deserves a place in the squad at the bare minimum. He is an unbelievable creator, and to not bring him along, it just invites problems. If there's any issue with creativity, you're going to look and you're going to see some incredible creative stats left at home in England. So the big debate for Southgate is, how much does he want his fullbacks to create versus how much does he want his fullbacks to just not get in the way, versus how much does he want his fullbacks to potentially lock some people down. If I had to predict what will happen, 30-man squad may name as much as 4 right backs: Trent, Reece, Walker, Trippier. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If it comes down to it, if he has to pick 3, maybe he spoils himself and maybe wants to see Walker play at center back. He picks Trent, Walker, and Kieran Trippier. That would be my 3 to pick. If I had to narrow it down to just 2, I would take Trent Alexander-Arnold and Kieran Trippier, with the likelihood to play Trippier at right back, and maybe Trent has the flexibility to move him into the midfield. Maybe try something like that. Let us know your thoughts on the England right back dilemma. It's probably a healthy problem for Southgate to have until he gets a lot of angry Liverpool fans in the comment sections on Twitter and potentially in the stands for the Euros. It's very exciting Euros coming up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll have lots of content heading into the tournament. So for myself, Jack, this has been a video from the Footy 5. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on the debate, and I'll see you next time. Take care.